Welcome, YouTube. This is Acid Roots. I've got a Jacksepticeye shirt on. Pretty proud of it, but I'm going to review MGK's Bloom. So this came out about late middle of May, and I kind of ignored it because I was wondering the tempo and the direction that it was going to head in. Mostly because of the song Bad Things. I mean, he's been promoting this album since late 2016. Origin Originally, it was intended to be. Camilla, something like that. Camilla Cabello's song, because she was going solo from Fifth Harmony. She broke up with them at the tail end of 2016. If you listen to pop radio, you probably heard this girl group. But here's the thing with this new MGK album. I reviewed Lace Up. I reviewed General Admission. I reviewed his technical second album, which was Black Flag. He has said that was supposed to be his official second project because he did take 3 years off between Lace Up and General Admission. And, each of those MGK has managed to get like a hit single, but he still has a ways to go when it comes to actually doing, hit albums. So I give him credit if you're just looking for a song or two for a mixed CD. That's simple enough to do. But once you are saying, hey, I want 4, 5, 6, 7 hit songs, it just doesn't work. And here's the reason why. Because he has to cater to two audiences. There's two types of people who know MGK. The first crowd of people are the ones who know him for songs like Wild Boy and that Till I Die, which was his first single off General Admission. And then there's people who know him for songs like Invincible and Bad Things. So he has to kind of interlace the two. And so, when you have a 13-song album, that obviously means you have to balance both. Did I have a problem with this? Not really. But, having two sets means you're going to get, unless you like both the styles, you're going to have half the album that you actually want. So the problem with it this time is there's no single. So that's, if you're looking for a single like Wild Boy, he doesn't do that this time. And he actually, I guess he did try. Apparently Trap Paris is the closest thing to that, and that didn't even chart at all. So apparently a lot of our audience nowadays is sick of songs like Wild Boy. I'm on Spotify right now. That's how I'm reviewing this. And, his least popular songs off this album, Bloom, are my favorite. So that I found that kind of disappointing. Songs like, any song with a pop singer on the hook, way up there. But then songs like Can't Walk and Moonwalking are the least popular songs on the album. So those are obviously the ones I'm going to recommend to you. So it seems people are really looking for the introspective and thought-provoking MGK, which kind of takes him out of context considering his name is Machine Gun Kelly. So it's just, it's just something to kind of ponder. But regardless, I will show off the singles to you. I will tell you what they're about. So Bad Things, that is a hit song. He did nail the singles. Bad Things with Camilla Cabello it works as a song. It's just a decent driving song. It's a decent just listen to. It's not really a song I would admit to wanting to start your night with, but for the day it works fairly well. The hook is okay. Camilla could probably have made that a little bit catchier, but I think the thing with it was just the fact that the chemistry on the song and the topic happened to make this a hit. So you're just finding yourself paying more attention to, themes of the song. But I do like her as a singer. It makes me wonder what her career is going to turn into. So But the second single is At My Best. Haley Steinfeld, who kind of reminds me of Demi Lovato. I mean, once again, if you've listened to pop radio stations, you've heard a hook singer like Haley a few times before. Kind of like the song Airplanes by Eminem. Or, no, it was not Eminem, but B.O.B. You know, it's similar, those type people. Rihanna, you know, just those type hits. And that one is not quite as good as Bad Things, but it, I mean, it's just probably like a B minus C plus grade second single, which, you know, MGK always seems to do this. Is the reason why he doesn't have as much popularity as some of the other folks, is because he gets a huge first hit, but then can't follow it up. And he did this on Lace Up. It seemed like he did it on Black Flag. And General Admission didn't get past the second single either. So even this time, that's the thing. But Trap Paris is the third single. It has Quavo from Migos and Ty Dolla Sign on there. And you know, this is pretty good, but these are really only guest rappers on here besides that Double X. So yeah, this is decent. I mean, MGK doing this sort of trap music. I'm trying to think of some hits off of. I mean, he paired up with Bun B pretty well back on Lace Up and Waka Flocka and some of these folks, but it just feels like a leftover from something that Migos would do. So it's decent, but you've probably heard better trap music, but it's good enough. It's better than the second single, and it's one of the better songs on the album. Moonwalkers and Can't Walk are definitely some vehicle songs, and these are definitely ones that, you know, create noise and are meant to have a good time to, which really the fact that he summed this up with two songs kind of showcases, you know, when I said half the album, well, the only other song that has this outgoing vibe is Golden God. And this one was kind of, I mean, I can see the beat getting on some folks' nerves, but it's serviceable. And yeah, so between that, so basically songs 6 through 10 were in my opinion the heat of the album. I mean, you're definitely getting a balanced rap album, but it's divisive. That's the whole thing about it. So I mean, I like the idea. I understand that if it weren't for that Bad Thing song, we might not have gotten Bloom at all. But the problem with it is you know, the attempts to recreate some of that song's popularity fall flat. So I mean, you know, it seems as if MGK knows this, and it's like, you know, I want to do more songs, but then, you know, you listen to the lyrics, and it's like, you know, some of the introspective stuff, he's like, you know, he kind of wants to change himself, so it's it it's kind of dicey, but regardless, it still makes for good music, so that's the point. And you know, so that, I mean, that's just the whole thing. The way I look at MGK's lyrics is the fact that it's not necessarily the rhyme that he says, like rhyming articulate, the word articulate. It's more of the sentence that he has leading up to the word, and that's what makes him interesting. Is his sentences prove him to be an interesting character. So I'm more interested in his dialogue more so than the word he's rhyming. And you know, I think some people don't pay attention to that as much because it's like, oh, he rhymed ant with chant. That's lame rhymes. And it's like, well, it's not really. You have to pay attention how he rhymed it. So that's an extra thing to know when you listen to MGK, and that I do appreciate that. I mean, there's some rappers that are just interesting, and he's one of those that is. So I'm gonna give this album, because I like 5 songs out of 13. I'm just gonna give it a 3.5 out of 10. Really, I'd like to give it a 4, but I mean, the problem with it is even the best moments on the album are nowhere near as good as Lace Up. So it's kind of like, you know, I think it's okay, but you know, the vehicle songs, there only being 2 of them. You know, the sort of in outgoing moments, this is just not the album for that. it's fleeting. So that's one thing to remember. So obviously I like it because it's MGK, but it's just kind of mild. That's the biggest problem. So the social score I will give like a 5.5 out of 10, just because the hits were large. I mean, these are his two biggest hits out of any of his albums, but they still, they pander more to females, and the hooks are not the best you've ever heard. So that's something to know. But, this is his newest thing. It's probably going to last for a while. I don't know how long the singles will last, but Bad Things is kind of getting worn out, and At My Best doesn't appear to be doing that well. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with MGK. We could really use some more. I mean, that's just the thing. We could use another hit from him to see what's going to happen. But for the moment, this is just, we need a mixtape. I think that's a good thing. We need like a kick-ass mixtape or something. Another hit like Wild Boy is what I recommend the most. All right, subscribe for more fun.